And welcome to another one of these live sessions. And today we have the 93s minus Gustav Hedlund, ironically enough. And this is due to flights. He had to catch one. And we'll have to book him when he gets back home and do a one-on-one via Zoom as we usually do. But fellas, coming into this competition, how were you feeling? Brennan, I'll throw this to you first, both physically and mentally for your first Worlds debut. These other gentlemen have been to Worlds before, but even though it was your first, there was a lot of hype and expectations. How did that feel?
Yeah, so it was a lot of mixed feelings, to be honest, because it was already a battle for me to even get the world team spot, just with all the pressure and all the eyes on me, you know, trying to get over Keiko's total, like, can he do it? Me battling supposedly against Gavin. Could he beat Gavin? This, you know, it's probably Gavin's time, all these different narratives and storylines. And just being able to, you know, get through that feat, and then boom, I'm right back into another prep. It felt great at first, like my body was really good, like the first block post that PA Nats, but after that, the aches and pains and things that come from just like back-to-back prep started creeping up. So towards really the middle of prep, it really wasn't that good. It wasn't that great. It was a lot of just striving through traveling, striving through just, you know, beat up sessions. So then mentally you're going like, all right, this is the biggest competition of my life, like, period. And no matter what, no matter how I feel, even if I want to be like, I don't want to do it, or I don't want to go, or I feel like I'm not ready, all those thoughts are just temporary and it's okay to have, but you got to knock those out because you have a job to do and you have to show up. And so every single thing leading into this moment, getting on the flight, landing here, you know, making sure that I'm arrived, I was just hoping that I just feel better and better and better and better. And I was. And then once I got here and just being able to see everyone, see how cool everyone was, honestly, just getting the feel of just the overall vibe that the athletes were giving, seeing my fellow 93s like for the first time in person was amazing.
Getting choked up here.
Yeah, a little bit. And it was cool. So just like honestly, the pressure that I had before hopping on the flight was great, but then once I got here, there was no pressure. I just felt very comfortable. I felt at home. I felt ready. My body felt good. The travel. Honestly, the travel really wasn't bad. My body didn't really feel beat up from the travel. I didn't really feel too affected from the travel, but I will say that if I probably arrived like Carlos did, I might not have been as good as I was. So that's just even more props to Carlos. Like that's still crazy, and I know he'll tell his own story. But for me, the vibe and everything here was great. Body felt great. It was a really good first Worlds experience. And
you were out there like every day watching the sessions and taking it all in, and you didn't seem nervous. I mean, you were hanging out afterwards, enjoying the moment.
Yeah, no, I was there every day. I was there for all my USA teammates every single day, and just being able to cheer them on, see them showcase. I even had my own teammate, like true teammate, like part of the craftsmanship, Megan Herbert, like her first Worlds experience, being there for her, and just being able to just witness the crowd and the craziness of these sessions from start to finish. Like I will say that from watching Worlds all these years and now being here in person, I would say that it was cool to watch the strongest Worlds, I would say, period, so far. And just watching this craziness that has unfolded this week has been amazing. And there's zero nerves. It just felt like, all right, it's time. It's time.
I'm going to throw it to you, Emil, next. Carlos has probably the craziest story in terms of his arrival and everything around it. And the entire venue was talking about it. And it was incredible what transpired afterwards. But how were you feeling, Emil, in terms of your prep, coming into it, body weight, and how on point were you?
Hello. So the prep is moved really great. So in my first time for preparation for fourth Worlds, I feel ready. My body is healthy because after 2 years I have back injury, and with my coach Kedrick we need to find solution for training, mostly for low bar, because taxing me so much, and I can deadlift very good after that. So we find solution every 10 days, make primary squats and squatting little bit more than my other squats because I have two lower light sessions and always be the days in the one session. So that's it. For a preparation, I hit 2 times 900 total and a pretty lower body weight, 94, 95, something like that. It's easy to cut, but travel, it's really cost me for recover a little bit because from Bulgaria to Lithuania, it's cost something like that 2 hours, 3. But our travel, it's take 9 hours. It's a little bit, and need 2 days to recover, something like that. But I'm happy for a prep. I'm healthy, the most important thing, and time for a rebuild more muscle.
More?
And, and so, Carlos, you were smashing some huge weights leading into this, reposting some of your bigger lifts leading in. Prep looked phenomenal. How was your prep? And then the travel in and the story that was you arriving.
Well, first of all, I must say thank you for having me here. It's a great honor, pleasure. And for me, my preparation was in tip-top shape. I hit 900 3 times total, 902.5 and 905 kilos. My deadlift was impeccable. My bench press, I was trying to build 190, what I failed at Sheffield's. And it was arriving just few hours. It was, I won't say devastating. For me, it was challenging. I didn't have that full energy because I had to dehydrate literally 2 kilos. And while I was reaching here, I always maintain one main thing. I gotta be there. My determination, I'm going to wars, I'm not failing. If tomorrow I gotta fly, I'm flying. So the process to reach here, first of all, one is a visa. I got it on the 18th of the afternoon. The government got involved, reached out to the embassy in Suriname, reached out to the Dutch consulate. They didn't want to release my passport, and the history was there. So I got my visa in the afternoon. The flight agency, it's on standby. We booked the ticket, cost me $3,100. From there, left home roughly about 8:30, 9 o'clock. That's an hour to the airport. Got in, settled in. From Guyana to Miami is 5.5 hours. In transit in Miami, roughly for 2.5, 3 hours. From Miami to Istanbul, it's 12 hours on the plane. I don't know if people think that when you sit on the plane, once you're not traveling first class,
Yeah.
that your feet gonna be like this and you're like, I don't call it sleeping, I call it resting.
Right.
You're not sleeping.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
Good. And 1 and 2, you'll find air pockets, which is turbulence, and you're gonna be like, all right, cool. So I don't see how people are gonna be able to have 9 full hours rest on a plane. It's impossible, right? And whatsoever food you consume, your body won't be able to break it down fast enough. So if your digestion occurs in 2 hours, it will take longer because what? Majority of the time you will be seated. A lot of people like, oh no, bro, food gonna provide you so your body to be able to do work. That's the science of it. Behind that, it's just like an engine. You put fuel, you put oil, you put water, it's combustion. If that engine doesn't start, that's not gonna burn. Likewise with the human body. So I arrive in Istanbul, 2 hours and 15, 2 hours and 17 minutes in transit. From Istanbul to Vilnius, 2.5 hours, another 3. Reach in Vilnius, from Vilnius through Druskininkai, it's 2 hours in a car or the shuttle. You're a bit uncomfortable. You cannot stretch out your foot 100 because you have another athlete next to you. So you don't want to, what we could say, deprive anyone from their own privacy too. They are traveling just like you. I'm in that position, it's like, damn, you twist, you're torn, you're not. But my focus is there. So in and out, I'm playing Rocky Balboa. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my national anthem. I mean business. not business. Even when I'm in the sauna, well, I pop up, I greet Pitre, I greet Emil. Emil was, I believe he is now losing weight too. So everybody greeted me as same. I greeted, I'm serious no health because I'm on crunch time. I only have 5 hours.
When did you arrived day of
I arrived roughly about 12:30, 1 o'clock.
in the morning? Yeah.
No, afternoon. In the morning, that's 11:30, 12 o'clock in Vilnius, right? But to reach the Druskininkai, I only arrive, let's say, at 1:30.
Yeah.
That's 2 hours from the airport.
Yeah.
So, yes, I'm in Vilnius, but I'm not at the event.
Oh yeah, yeah. So then you have to get to the event. So you're literally just like hours away from weighing in. When
Yeah. Guess what? The only thing I'm running on, coffee.
Yeah.
My best friend. Grab 2 cups of coffee. I get into the sauna. Well, besides the saw Pitre and everywhere, my face is dry as hell. It's like, damn, this guy is about to fight with someone. That's Pitre's face is like, oh shit, nah, this is not Carlos. So I go and start doing my stuff. I saw Christian now in the sauna. He's like, Christian is like, this guy make it for real? Is he going down? So I told Christian asked me, Carlos, great to make it and stuff. I was like, yeah, man, but I got things to like, how many kilos you got? I was like, just 2.5. So he just run it off 2 kilos. He's like, well, I just have 1 more kilo to go. So he was telling me, Christian's telling me his story, look, I've been here for the past 3-4 days. I only have to lose, let's say, double that. But he's here 5 days. So it's like, lucky you. So I went into the sauna, do the extreme one, which is according to the Europeans here, the Russian sauna. Went in there, did 15 minutes interval. My first half hour, I'm soaking, wringing wet. Got the towel, run into the weight room. I'm at 96.35.
Oh my God.
96.37. Yeah, that's how high I was. Remember, your body retains water and salt.
Yeah.
Right? So
You got no time.
no time. I have 2.5 hours just to make weight.
God.
So I ran out, run to the weight room that's in the conference center, peel off. So I'm in my boxers and my tights. Went on the scale, I saw 95.6. I said, yes, okay, we move it. Run again. So the lady at the reception down at the spa, she's like, what happened? I was like, gotta burn some more. Sign in again, went in, 50 minutes. And they were, start beating some Rocky Balboa again. That's my tunes in my head, and it's right outside. So Christian is like, hey, you good? I was like, yeah, I'm serious. I'm not smiling like now that I'm happy and joyful and stuff, right? Christian is like, damn, this guy is fucking serious. Excuse my language, right? So Christian is like, man, you okay? You think you're gonna make it? I was like, yes, I'm gonna make it. I was like, whoa.
You land, immediately start cutting.
No, I gotta start cutting. I didn't travel this far at last minute just to pop up and say, I'm gonna look on to Emil, I'm gonna look on to Pitre. No, I came to not just compete. I came to put on a show. I inbox Emil, I even Pitre is like, yo, let's put on a show, man. Even Hunland. Hunland was like, this guy, awesome. Showing up, that's just a great honor.
Yeah.
But then putting on a show at a little such time, you're like, Hunland came up to me, he's like, Carlos, man, kudos to you, bro. I don't know, but he told me this. If I to travel and the championship just 2 days away, he's like, no, I'm not making it. Find another guy. I'm not making it. That's what Hunland told me. So I did 4 consecutive sessions in the hot sauna. And the last session I did was in the mild sauna, just to calm the body. Because my heart rate was pumping away due to dehydration.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm doing, I'm chewing gums, just to build back a certain amount of energy. Weigh in, I saw 93.3. I was like, damn. I was like, all right, guess what? Hot bath, chill your mind, get my stuff ready. I asked my countryman to buy banana, apple, water. He had already ORS, and I got a heavy protein. So I went in. The laugh is not here. The laugh is when I went on way in. I have 17 minutes. That's the fourth round, right?
17 minutes.
So everybody's left like, okay, Carlos made it. So went in. Go on the scale, 93.10.
Oh my God.
Damn. I was like, okay, no problem. How many minutes do I have? The turn, so you have 14. I say, okay, give me 2 minutes. I put on my clothes outside. Everybody's like,
God,
is Carlos okay?
no sleep.
So some people, right? They say, no, he's warming up. Huh? So
No, he's
who
not
knows
warming
what's up going on? He's like, no, he's not warming up. He gotta burn some more weight.
God.
I see him on the toilet. He's crazy.
Yeah, so I was there, out, put on. So Megan came to me. He's like, Carlos, how many more weights? I said 0.5. He's like, yo, just stand up in the shower. I said, that's not helping. I gotta go outside. So I'm in the sun. As soon as I felt a little thing run, I was like, all right, I got this now. I run in, here. I run in, peel off. I was like, breathe. Went on, 93.05. I was like, damn. So I look at my brief. I look at the judges. I look at my brief where it's like, hello. Flip this. Off you go. Go on the scale. I do. My countryman came in, 93.0. I was like, yes.
And is it true it was literally like 30 seconds left?
No, it was 3 minutes.
It
was 3 minutes. At least it was
Still
3
close.
minutes. Yeah.
That is so close.
He's like 30 seconds
Yeah.
sounds better.
But
Warm up. He's ready.
yeah, I was, as soon as I came out the warm up, the weigh-in, sorry, my equipment is already checked and stuff. So I appreciate that from Megan and even Dominic. So everybody start seeing me like, whoa, he barely made it. Yes, I barely made it, but guess what? I'm already fired up because I'm steaming up. So as soon as I came out, I grabbed the banana, I grabbed my ORS, 2 Red Bull, and a double espresso. When I get that double espresso, 1 animal pack. And I start firing. While I was consuming the animal pack, I had a granola bar in my bag, and I chewed that. Start warming up. I'm already steaming. So I went from, instead of start with a bar, normal, like a normal athlete, I went 2 reds, 4 reds, 5. Everybody's like, no, impossible. That's not Carlos. Something's wrong. Hunlan be like, Carlos, you okay? You good? So I told Meg to feel my heartbeats, right? Because I'm pumping. The adrenaline is there, but I'm still nervous. If I come outside, you see me like this here. So I just come out cool, keep rehydrating myself. Cannot drink it rash because I'm going to crash. Straight. Take sips of ORS, and I get it. So I hit my 4th squat. I got red. I said, what's up with the red? He's like, on depth. So we went back. The judges told us, no, it's okay. It's like, fine. 2nd, nailed it. 3rd, my point, when I adjust my belt, right? Once I dip and go down and I feel that my thoracic touches my belt, I know I'm in depth. I don't have to do butt to grass. I'm there. So I was like, 2 reps, something like that. So I saw the crowd like, Dominic, by the time he reaches the jury's table, he's like, no, it's okay. It's like, oh, drive to the wall. My bench, I had to cut it down because my muscles was fully dehydrated. I couldn't go that extra.
Let's pause that squats for a second. We're going to go back to bench in 1 sec. So I'm going to do all you guys squats, then bench, and then, but because we're at squats, how much time elapsed between you weighing in, totally dehydrated, no food, to your first attempt squat? How much time was that?
I would say 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's crazy.
20 minutes. And within that time, I was rehydrating, getting some tea eater, and coffee. So coffee, again, for that 36 hours while traveling and then still reaching here, I had roughly about 6 cups of coffee. When I go and urinate,
it was black.
No, it's dark yellow, not that black.
Yeah.
I never reached that stage. It was dark yellow, literally dehydrated. Yeah, till afternoon for that's way after the competition. We got dope tested again. When I went and urinate, literally like, it's now catching back its normal color. I was fully out, man. And then Red Bull too, oh boy, I'm flying.
You need a sponsorship with Red Bull. Brennan, how were you in terms of the warm-up room? Obviously, it's your first Worlds, but there was a lot of hype and momentum behind you coming from the U.S. What was it like for you to finally be at the IPF World Championship inside the warm-up room? And then tell us about squats.
So being in the warm-up room was cool just because of everyone who's there. Like, especially being in my corner, Carlos came up to me. We talked, exchanged words, good luck. I'm joking with Emil and Gustav at weigh-in and stuff like that. We're talking about, well, I won't necessarily say that. We're just talking about different social media things and things like that. And just being able to have like that experience with them was like really like comforting. And so the way that I was feeling, I felt great. I weighed in lighter than I thought I would weigh, like weighing 92.3. I didn't expect that. I wanted to weigh more like 92.5 or at the lowest 92.4 something. So I was still kind of like somewhat in my head about that because I know that if I weigh light, like usually that means, oh, things may feel heavy. But the moment that I started taking 1 red, 2 red, 3 red, everything felt light on my back. And I knew like my squat was on. Like my legs just felt ready to go regardless. And usually when I go into competition, like my legs are the things that like worry me. As of late, or at least the past 2 years, it's always been like, are my legs there? Are my legs there? Are my legs there? And it felt like the greatest squat day of my life, really. Like I was ready to load up whatever. And as I was going through the warm-ups, took 5 reds, felt comfortable, depth was on point. And the only thing I was worried about going off to my first squat was I want to prove that I lift to the standard, because I feel like that's like one of the biggest questions that like most people have on me is, all right, like he's doing all that in the States, like he's doing that over there, but can he actually lift to the standard? Like can these Americans come over and actually get, real white lights? And for me to go out there in that first squat, that was like a statement to say like, not only am I get 3 white lights, but it's also going to go fast. And so when I smoked the 650, I was like, yeah, load whatever we need. The second on the, I guess I was talking kilos real quick, but I guess on the second on the 310, I felt like the bar just slipped a little bit on my back, but it still felt really light, like really easy. And when we went with the 320, I do feel like that was, the right call, because I never squatted 705 or 320 in competition before, and I really wanted to make sure that I get that on the platform. But how light it felt on my back and how easy, like, and how ready I, to go I was, I felt like I could have done at least for sure 322 and a half, but possibly 325 on the day. So I know that what we have going right now for squats is working, and like I just felt good. Like, and it felt good to feel good at Worlds, post travel, post being in a heated matchup, like still having the pressure, still having to live up to the moment, still having these refs that don't necessarily speak my language, or maybe they do, but it's like a second or third language for them, and being able to say like, no, the way that you lift is perfect in our eyes was really big for me.
And are you paying attention to what other people are doing while you're squatting?
Not at all. Whenever I go to lift, the only thing that I try to pay attention to is if there is a record. So like for Carlos's last squat, I paid attention to that just because like, his history, just like I like historic moments. And I watched, if I got there early enough, I watched like the tail end of the 69s. But other than that, I didn't watch anyone's lifts until last deadlifts. I watch everyone's last deadlifts, just so that way I can see how they did. And I just wanted to like either, congratulate or just trying to like see what I needed to do, and then just still sit back and get into my zone.
How about you, Emil? How did your squats feel once the event began?
So event, when I started to warm up, I don't feel pretty comfortable because in the warm-up area is a little bit hot because so much people been there, and I don't have really good conditioning. So on the back, bars feel heavy, but I have one mission to make my squat, because the main mission is to make it depth, because so many people when I do it mock me in the gym, write me squat is very high. He bombed it out in the December 2 years ago. He can't do it. So
I relate.
yeah, same. So my mission is to squat whatever Kedrick put on the bar, and I don't ask for any specific numbers. Just squat it on the competition standards and stand up. I have 2 kilos left. A little bit the bar slipped on my back is last attempt, but I made it, and very comfortable start. That's it for squats.
And are you watching the other lifters?
No, totally. At the warm-up area, I focus on the barbell, and my execution, and that's it. In the whole competition, not only for squats.
And at this point, so you gentlemen have gone 3 for 3. Gustav Hedlund has also gone 3 for 3 and looks extremely strong. And Carlos, nobody knew what to expect from you with everything that had gone on in terms of arriving, which is insane, from the other side of the world, landing the day of, cutting weight, just making weight with 3 minutes left, and then with 20 minutes after being completely dehydrated, you're on the platform lifting, and 2 attempts later, you're loading up a world record. I know I wasn't sure if this is just the boldest, gutsiest move. It is either gutsy or foolish, or both. And walk us through, what are you thinking? Are you telling yourself, I don't know, but we're about to find out, or what was it like on your end?
Again, as mentioned earlier, I had only 3 songs in my head. Eye of the Tiger, No Retreat, No Surrender, and No Easy Way Out. That was me. I repeat those songs, I would say countless. So warming up, I was already steamed up because I did just like a 2-3 minutes right outside the venue. And everybody's like, is this guy okay? So everybody was like, did Carlos make it? Carlos made it? So I'm there. And I had squatted the world record twice. Not 32.5, the previous former world record. I squatted 335 for 2 reps. Then I squatted 340. I failed it once. Then I went back at it. Coach is like, we on point. The very first time I squatted, I hit it parallel. I did not pose that one. And up to now, I haven't posed when I had squatted. My coach said, keep this in the loop. Focus on bettering it. That's my meaning. Better it, and then you could be able to pose it. Then you will know exactly what's up. I hit 325 kilos, 2-3 reps, in Suriname, out of Suriname. Return to Ghana, squatted 335. Everybody in the gym is like, whoa. No, definitely Carlos is on a different level. So with that now, my adrenaline, my momentum, and also my passion towards it, I was like, I came here. I'm not going to let that out. So my openers normally would be 310, just like Sheffield's. I was like, hey, what? Bring it down 5 kilos. From there, I nailed it. It felt soft. From there, went to 325. 325 is literally what I'm doing for 3 reps now. I was like, yo, I'm going to smoke this one. So everyone asks me, what is your next option? 37.5, which is legit, or you go 340. Don't just chip the record. Blast it away. I was like, no. Give me the nuts. That's just the chip on the bar. Give me the nuts, and I'm going to parch it. So everybody's was like, Carlos, okay. But at that time, I'm just eye of the tiger, just focusing forward. I came here, I spoke with all the athletes, I approached them, and everyone gave me not just the respect of showing up, but giving that heart out there that, hey, you don't have no excuses. Once you are determined enough and you have that drive, you have that discipline and the passion, yo, only God can tell you no, bro. Only God can tell you no. I was on 1 meal out, right? And if it wasn't for my hamstring, Pitre, my brother, sorry. I'm here. I'm not over social media. It's like, yo, you have to work for your money. I'm telling you straight.
So, yeah, I mean, it was a phenomenal moment. And it was a crazy story. I've never in my life heard a story like this. Usually if someone just makes weight, lands the day of, and all the above, it goes completely sideways on them. So for you to actually, within an hour later, be breaking world records is insane. So all you guys, great squat session. Emil, everybody remembers your 906 and 900 and up training. Obviously, Pitre, you've had tons of hype coming in. Everyone knew your full well potential. And then Carlos, I've been reposting you, and we knew what your top end could be. And with your backstory and then breaking the record, everybody's on point, including Gustav, whom goes 3 for 3 and looks extremely strong. Perfect. Now we go into the bench press. Let's talk about the bench press, Pitre. How was your bench press? We'll just catch everyone up. Gustav at this point missed his third, but has still built a sizable subtotal.
Yeah, so the biggest thing for me on bench press was everything was actually feeling fine. My opener felt great. I was just like, yes. I was like, bench press is on as well, because I knew that, like, for me, if I could get all 3 of my planned bench press attempts, then I would be able to basically try and total 895 with my second attempt deadlift. That was the whole goal going in. And then basically try and see what everyone else pulled, see if they could get 895, see if they could beat it, and then possibly, have to pull for the win, or just see if they missed the 895, and then, or I guess since I was on body weight, see if they missed the 897.5, and if they did, I could just walk out and, be a world champ. However, that was like ruined whenever I went out for my second, and I go to get set up. Everything's feeling good. I put that left leg back there, and my hamstring seized up on me, like fully. And I think people in the crowd saw it. At least when I went out there, everyone saw it. And that second attempt, I basically did Larson. I didn't have any leg drive because I couldn't really push with my leg. But I was like, I'm here. Like I'm already here in the moment. I know I'm strong. I feel good. I'm not gonna fail a lift. It's gonna look rough, but I'm not gonna fail a lift. So went there, feel my hamstring just completely seizing up on me. My whole leg is just out of commission. Bring it to my chest and just push it up with my arms, and then rack it. I walk over to Matt Garrett and I said, 2.5, and I need you guys to massage me and help me get more water in, because I was even limping as I was going back to go sit down. And so they put the massage gun on me. They were making sure that they were able to at least stop the seizing. I was drinking water, massive amounts of water, just drinking, because I already knew that I already had the potassium, I had the magnesium, I had the sodium already in me. I just must not have enough water to balance it all out. So I was flushing water. Finally, it stopped seizing up, but the safest thing is to go 2.5, because I don't know if it seizes up again. I don't know if I can Larson 212.5 or 215. Like the best thing I could do, I know I could probably Larson 210. So just in case it seized up on me, I knew I could get that. But thankfully on the 210, hamstring felt a lot better. That moved a lot better. And with that regression in the bench, I knew that I was gonna have to rely on my pull or rely on these other guys somehow messing up. But I wasn't the happiest leaving bench. I was happy that I didn't miss a bench and that I was 6 for 6, but I don't like being in a situation where I do have to rely on that last deadlift, because it's always like, yeah, it always goes well, but then there's always that one day, So, yeah.
How about you, Emil? You got a monster bench press on you. Some people actually thought you might even make it towards the world record. Was that something that you were thinking about coming into this?
So for the preparation, we take 243 times maybe. It's a little bit left in the tank with a strict pause and from competition standards. But with Kedrick, decided for play safe and 6 for 6 after this grandy squats, and make good subtotal from deadlift. So for the warm-up area, I don't feel any leg drive. I don't know what happened. So we lower a little bit first attempt. So we play safe, and the second I have little bit bad technique. So we play safe and up 2 kilos more, and finish it with 237.5. But I have probably 2 kilos or 5, maybe. Yeah, the last attempt is best attempt. So that's the main mission. Big subtotal like this, and make sure I have more energy for deadlift, because it's for the previous competition I'm lacking for energy for deadlift just before squat and bench. That's it.
And was this coming out of the bench press, and you do have a big subtotal, but you got some monster deadlifters coming behind you, 2 of them with us right now. Were you confident thinking, because I know from the commentary booth, and I had people blow up my phone during, and in between sessions, I'll take a peek. A lot of people were high on your chances at this point. It looked like you were pulling away, And obviously, we'd seen the totals you've been posting up in the gym. Where was your confidence levels and your team's confidence levels? And at this point, after bench press, have you poked up your head and taken a look at deadlift openers and started doing any math?
I'm pretty sure confident for this subtotal what I made, and for the deadlift, when I did my last pull for the prep, 350, I have more than in the tank for 10 kilos or more. So deadlift is level up this my prep. So we started confident. For the second attempt, I felt really good and 345. So we make decision to go up for 10 kilos, but for the last attempt, for the last pull, I don't really know what happened with my left hand.
We'll talk about deadlifts in 1 sec. Let's not get too ahead, but yeah. Okay, so we're up at the deadlift. So you felt confident going into deadlift?
Yeah, pretty comfortable. First time I'm really comfortable and focusing really myself, nothing to see other athletes what he pulled, because the main thing is to build 849, something like that, and risking for the last pull.
Okay, so the table is set, gentlemen. Going into the deadlift event, Gustav Hedlund had missed the bench. Actually, let's get Carlos. Let's get your bench first before we get into deadlifts. I'm sorry, my man, but you got a big. Let's get your bench press. Then we'll set the table for the deadlifts and the dramatic conclusion.
Yeah, well, for my bench press, I literally end up taxing, could say 7.5 kilos off of it. So a lot of people are like, damn, even yourself. So it's like, Carlos have just reduced his openers as a normal lifter when he was opening, right? 165. 165 is something like I'm smoking now.
Yeah.
But fighting to get 192.5 or even 195 kilo to compete with you guys, everybody's like, damn. No, but guess what? Somewhere along the line, someone's like, nah, Carlos is going to hit big this one. He's going to make a big impression. So kick off once, I was planning to open 167.5. I was pretty confident of it. And so while warming up, my hamstring started locking off. And I was like, no, I'm not going to take off the sleeve. The minute I take off the sleeve, that's it, locked up for me. I was like,
That's scary.
Damn. So I called Meg, I was like, hey, this hamstring is acting up. Carlos, sip more water, sip more ORS. I was like, damn, I never drink so much water, one walk, 2 bottles of water. So I'm in and out of ORS, rehydrating myself as much as possible, try to massage my hamstring as much. And in and out from the bench press session, I took it gradually. Normally I just go one red, yellow, and then blue. My warm-up is finished because I'm not a big bencher. So Meg told us, here's what. Take the 160, 145, and then go 160. We're going to see how smooth it goes. So one press, decent command, I got it. So it's like, all right, cool, we're going to work with this. 170, I believe my second attempt, my hamstring started acting up again. I said, damn, this is same as what happened to Pitre. I went out, I kick it out, I just allow for it to relax. While I'm relaxing it, it's, let's say, tweaking, right? I was like, damn, this is not going nowhere. So I've requested for 180 kilo, which is my second best. She's like, nope, you're not going to get it. So I tried to get frustrated, and she's like, hey, calm down, got you, don't speed, you're going to catch it back in the deadlift, right? So I was like, okay, no problem, but I want 180 kilo. Yeah. She's like, relax. Because my hamstring is still acting up. I was like, okay, go out there, see what's up. 170, 177.5, I rest it, press it. He's like, okay, there you go. You see, you happy now? I was like, kinda. So I went in, peel off my hamstring. It's still giving a slight tweak. So just rest it out, start stretching, and then kicks off on the deadlifts.
Okay, so thank you for setting me up, sir. Yeah, now here we are. This is where the battle is going to be decided. Still way too close to call. At a certain point, obviously Carlos came off to a huge start in the squats, and you were wondering, like the crowd was wondering, and the viewers were wondering, will the flight, the weight cut eventually catch up to you? And apparently, like the dehydration, et cetera, it started catching up in the hamstring. We couldn't super tell what, if anything, was going on with you, Pitre. Apparently, some of the crowd did. That went unnoticed by myself, that you were half Larson pressing that, one leg down anyways. We'll call it a Pitre press at this point. That's yours. And Emil, you've been smoking it. Your subtotal, you look extremely strong. And despite Gustav going 2 for 3 in the bench press, he looks very strong as well.
Yeah.
We go into the deadlifts. I think this one, I'm going to throw to Carlos first, then you, Emil, then you, Pitre. And the deadlifts was where everything got decided. I know as a viewer, I had no idea who was going to win. Even after, I mean, it took up to your last pull for you. I know you got injured during the deadlifts, and it was crazy. You came up for your last one. I'll let you tell the story. And Brendan, you were deep in the hunt, and obviously Gustav, hitting the pulls that he needed. I won't tell your own stories. Let's pick it up with first Carlos. Tell us about the deadlifts.
Yeah, well, my deadlifts for warm-ups, it went if I'm training to prepare for pulls for heavy. So in training, I have pound plates. You guys have kilo plates. I will go from one plate, which is 135. So I have 1, 3, 5, 7. That's my warm-up set. So soon as I hit 700, do singles or sometimes doubles. So my coach will say, we're going to start 730, 3 reps. Okay, fine by me. 730 is something like I were open in my previous year, New Zealand, Commonwealth, and set off on how I build. Now I'm opening 340, 345, in which I'm repping that too. So he was like, we're going to go 2 reds, 3 reds, 4 reds, straight to 5. When I reach 5, I see Honland like, Pitre at the other end, he's in his own zone, but Pitre is like, Jesus. You can literally see the face reaction. Emil, I believe he had finished warming up and he was out of the room. I'm like, where is Emil? I see Christian, he's pulling numbers too, and the other guy from Canada. Well, I know they cannot catch me. I'm looking at these 3 big guns.
My thing, though, with you was just like, you warmed up so fast. I was looking, I was like, he's already at 5 reds? I was like, God, I was like, he's pulling. Like, you're pulling like when I'm pulling. I was just like, I haven't even touched that yet. So I was like, you're just moving. Like, you're just zooming.
I was on adrenaline. So while in and out, I was outside. I'm doing X and O's. Try for relax the hamstring and also stretch it as much as possible. Because still tweak it. So I was like, okay. We went inside, pulled the 5 red for double. Honda be like, this guy for real? If we were right next door. Picture at the other end, I see you with your music and you just, cool. Everybody's in their own zone. So I start my own hype. I have Rocky Balboa in my ears again. My own national anthem. Everybody thinks I just create a vibe because I'm on stage. No. I'm training, I have my own vibe. I'm outside, I have my own vibe. It's not like I come up and create a scenario whenever I want to impress someone. No, that's me. Just like how Aiden have his style, you have his style. Everyone has their own. So I make myself comfortable as much as possible. For example, in the gym, people don't say I'm just making unnecessary noise. Okay, feel free. I'm paying a gym membership just like you. Yeah, simple. So I'm smoking 5 reds. Everyone is looking at me. Is like, no, Carlos is coming with something. Well, guess what? But this 5 reds is okay. Went out, smoked the 345s. I'm good. It's like, yes. My coach, in and out, was like, you want the 365 or you want the 370? I was like, 370 is what we came here to work for, right? All right. 370 would have put me right next with Pitre, looking for Emil to see if he's going to screw up. I know he does, sorry to say. Honlan is on point. And it's like, damn, okay, cool. Went out, 370, I'm feeling it. All of a sudden, 370 is in my hand, it's in the air. Before I to lock out, my hamstring do bloop, straight. I was like, and I just put it on. I was like, So now you're gonna kick me off, buddy. Now you're gonna kick me off. I was like, all right. Went inside, tried to stretch it as much as possible. Stretch. I said, all right. It's feeling better.
And let me tell you something. As a viewer, I thought there's no way you're coming back.
No, it wasn't. Let's say an hamstring pop.
It wasn't a tear.
Good. It's not a tear. It's not a pop. Everybody's like, "Oh, Carlos is over it." No.
Yeah.
It's literally cramp, and when that lock off, my brother, you can't do nothing about it. Honestly speaking, so I tried to stretch it out, put more tension on it, release that pressure from it, release that tension. So it felt a bit good for a couple of seconds. I was like, okay, I got this. Load it up again. So I'm trailing behind Pitre now. I'm fighting for that third, and if anything, second. So I saw Emil, I was like, damn, same thing I said. I know he's gonna miss a lift because he doesn't have much. And he don't pull 350 off the bat. Hunland loads up the 355 again, and he's like, nah, he got it. And if I were to pull according to what my coach had put forward to me, 375, just 5 kilos above, I know for sure Hunland don't have 5 more kilos. I know that for sure. I could scrape that 5 kilos comfortable and hope and pray Emil or Pitre, sorry to say, may fail or just scratch and say, hey, well, I'm right here. Just give me 5 kilos. Okay, I have 5 kilos. So literally, I'm pulling everyone against me, right? And that's what you call competitive. Because everybody is looking to see who's going to do what.
Yeah.
You understand? And there's where the smart guys come, the smarter guy come in and say, hey, what? I'm going to play it safe. Sorry to say, according to people, it was not my day. If I had one more day, I was able to put it off and so forth. But it was a great experience, not just coming in as an athlete, but more so as an individual to put on a great show, not just to the fans, but to the world out there who are literally viewing what the championship is all about.
I remember last year you were in Group B, and I remember you meeting me on the platform afterwards and you telling me, next year you're going to know me and everybody's going to know who I am and I'm coming.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, sometimes you hear that and it works out, sometimes you don't. My God, in a year's time, everything from the podcasts to your road to Sheffield, to the Sheffield performance itself, to everything that led up to this Worlds, to breaking a world record, and you were gambling that world record when you opened up that much on your deadlift, because if you missed and had that hamstring issue on your opener, your world record was gone. You need a total for that. But
Yeah.
you will bet on yourself every time.
Yeah, all the time. Not just being confident, right? That's what I told Pitre recently. Not just being confident. Once you put in the work and you know exactly how your body reacts, and you know exactly what to do on the outcome, you know exactly that, hey, it's either I take this, I reduce it, or I play with it. Simple. So moving forward, I know I have 345. But I didn't expect my hamstring were cramped up 100. I said, damn, the wrong time, man. So with that now, I say, here what? It's do or die. But I'm not going into major injury. So I will say here, and I'll say it again, I'm not finished. I still want my piece of pie. It is already being baked, but guess what? I'm not number 6 no more. I'm climbing slowly, buddy.
I love that quote, by the way. So you have no injuries?
No.
Okay.
Just cramps.
Okay, good,
Just
good,
cramps,
good.
buddy.
Emil, let me get your deadlifts, because I'll tell you what, my impression by the way your deadlifts were moving, when you hit your second and loaded up for your third, I did think that was yours.
Yeah.
I thought you had way more in the tank, and I thought you were about to push this world record into the 900s, and everybody else was going to be overly extended. And I wasn't the only one. I had spoken to some people. So what happened in the deadlifts from your viewpoint?
In my point, warm up is pretty well. For 20 minutes, I warm up until my first warm up. Pretty good. It's my worst movement in the squat and bench, but with Kedrick, original plan, is to open at 325, jump at 20 kilos another for a second. We did it, 345. It's the best deadlift I ever done. And we see Carlos what we do with something in hamstring. I don't know what it happened at this moment.
It locked up,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah, I don't watch Pitre, but after a second attempt, we play safe for another 10 kilos because I have it. I have it. It bar is very light in my hands and in my legs and back. I feel pretty confident for that, but maybe from little bit overhyped for a third attempt and last pull for the win, because I know it's for the world record, and see the last for a second deadlift and the Gustav, because he don't have more than this. I know it little bit more strength than is there.
Mm-hmm.
So in the last pull, my left hand from the top, it's slipped. I'm shocked about that. So I know started to change little bit changes with mixed grip or something grip work, because strength is there, but yeah, next time.
Yeah. No, it was, the strength was definitely there, the way your second attempt moved, but yeah, it was unfortunate and ill timing for you. So at this point, were you heavier than Gustav?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why you needed more, that's right. And Gustav hit his, was less body weight, and so he had the advantage. And then in terms of the weight between you and Gustav, what was it?
I was lighter.
Okay.
I was lighter than everyone.
So then let's walk through
300,
yours
yeah.
and your deadlift, because I think you just had to equal him, beat him on body weight, that's right.
Yeah.
And we came oh so close to a possible podium of the exact same totals and splitting on body weight. It looked like it might, obviously didn't, but it was a close battle nonetheless. So let's talk about your deadlifts and how it came about.
Yeah, so after bench, again, with just the cramping in the hamstring, I mean, it's still there. So then you still feel the soreness. You still feel like the possible, like, seize up. But at that point, I knew that it was going to come down to my last pull. So my only focus was every single time I approach the bar, I'm going to kill the weight. Every single time. I don't care. Like, this leg, it doesn't exist to me anymore. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to make sure that I just pull and then I'm strong. Because I've been in these high-pressure situations before, and so I'm ready and I'm prepared for this moment. So went ahead and I said, I see 2 reds. I said, it has to fly. Like, I have to murder it. So I went 2 reds fast, 3 reds fast, 4 reds fast in the warm-up room. And when I felt that, I was like, okay, I feel good. Strength is here. Like, I felt strong on the deadlift. 5 reds fast, 6 reds fast. I was like, cool. But when I got to the, like, 6 reds, or I guess technically it was a little bit under, but they kind of switched up the warm-up, so I don't know what it is in kilos. I felt that I didn't have as much drive as I normally do in my left leg. It felt light in my hands. It felt fine. But I felt that the drive just wasn't there all the way. So I was like, all right, it's cool. It's like, it's okay for it to feel a little rough in the warm-up room. It always feels better on the platform regardless. I felt things that moved way worse and then pulled way more. So it's like, all right, like, I'm good, I'm fine. All right, just solidify the opener. Got the opener. Opener felt good. Still felt a little bit of me pushing weird, but it still felt light. Like, I felt like I was on. And then dropped it. Then saw what happened with Carlos at his hamstring. And I was just like, all right, I'm still worried about Carlos, but I'm not as worried about Carlos. Because just because he missed it on the second, I know he has a heart to where he can still possibly come back on the third and still pull off a miracle. But that wasn't really, like, on my side anymore. It was more like, if he does that, kudos to him. And, you know, bravo. Like, hey, you deserve it, right? I wasn't going to try and beat what he could potentially do anymore. I was looking at the last pulls, and then when I saw Emil miss, I was like, oh, I can win. I was at that moment, I was like, this could be it. Like, this could be the moment. And then when I saw Gustav after his second, when he walked off mad. Like, he walked off upset, and it's only a second. So I was like, okay, if Gustav already upset, how much more does he
interesting.
really? I was like, how much more does he really have? No, you saw it too, right? Yeah.
Why was that? That's very interesting.
Because he knew he was like weak on the day. He felt like he should have been stronger. So he felt as if Emil was about to win because he didn't have much more in his deadlift. So that's why he got excited whenever Emil missed his attempt, because he then knew like, oh, I can lift this. And then when he got that last deadlift, he was like, yes, because then now it was just up to me and Carlos to possibly pull. And he felt as if like that was enough and secured it in the bag. It's just probably based off my second, because on my second, whenever I went out for it, get to the top, it felt good, but the moment that I started trying to lock out and finish the drive, I felt that like I had to bring my hips through a little bit more than I usually do. And with that, I was like, I don't know what we need to load, but I was like, I was hoping it's like, hopefully it's like right at 800, or I guess right at 362.5 or right at 360, one of those. And then whenever I went out there and it was 365, I was still pretty confident though. Because I was like, 365, I was like, I've pulled 365 so many times. I've pulled 365 in so many like bad situations that like, all right, at the end of the day, like even if I can't really feel the drive out of my left, like I should have this in the bag. And I went out there, took my time, tried to control myself, got out off the floor, and as I was getting halfway up and I was like getting almost a lockout, hips started coming forward. I lost the drive in that left leg completely. And then that's when people are saying like, oh, it was grip strength. It wasn't grip strength. Also, grip strength doesn't really exist. It's either you lose your grip on hook or you have a lack of strength somewhere else to where your hips start pushing your hand forward, and then that's what causes the bar to rip through your hand. So what happened to me is that my hips started coming forward a little bit more on my left side, started pushing my hands out, and then there goes World Championship. But still overall, like to have the chance in my hands to possibly be a world champion against these like titans, these elite athletes with the strongest the 93s have ever been as a collective unit going into worlds, can't be mad at it.
So after it's all said and done, what were your emotions at? You didn't seem upset.
No.
Seen you later on that night.
So I was saying this like literally right after. I was saying this already while I was here at Worlds, but I remembered why I love powerlifting, because being in the States, honestly, sometimes it could get, and I know other countries have their issues as well, but being in the States, sometimes the community could be just so toxic at times. And being around just lifters and seeing how they're very, I don't know, overall just ungrateful, like while they're in this sport, it can be very like draining. It can be tiring. You work so hard, you build up these accolades, and you hear all these different narratives and storylines about yourself, and you hear other people come up and not necessarily do the things that you've done in this sport, but yet they're getting these, gifts, they're getting these awards, they're getting this love and stuff like that. And it's like, for you, it's always like scrutiny, or there's always a question mark, or there's always like all these stipulations, even though you're collecting accolade after accolade after accolade after accolade. So honestly, I was just getting tired, be quite frank. I was getting tired of the sport. I was like falling out of love with it. And being here, being among people from different countries, seeing how their view on powerlifting is, seeing how they love powerlifting, seeing this man's passion and everything that he wants to bring to this sport, like seeing that with my own eyes, honestly, is just like, that brought love back to me. And when I walked away, like you would think that I should be like disappointed, such as said. I was a little bit later on when I really like saw like soaked in the moment, but right at that point I just saw the crowd. I saw people from multiple nations cheering for me, love, like wishing for me to win, like wishing like love for me, not wishing on me to miss it. People actually being upset that I missed it. People who don't even speak my language. Like you can't see that visually and then be upset, to be honest. It's just that because I've never experienced that before, and I hadn't really been experiencing that too much. And I've just been receiving and seeing just so much love while being in this community here at Worlds. And yeah, I'm more excited than ever to train. I'm more excited than ever to be a part of powerlifting. And with that, like that's why I'm so happy. Like I'm truly like I'm joyful.
How about yourself, Emil? You were so close. Looked like you were pacing for it until that grip. Not grip strength, but the grip gave.
Yeah, you could lose it. Like he lost his grip.
Right.
That's it.
what was your takeaway from this? What was your emotions on it, being this close to your ultimate goal? And perhaps, even for all of you, Gustav can be a sign of inspiration because, of course, Gustav in 2018 won juniors, out-totaling the Open.
Yeah.
On that day, he could have been an Open World Champion, 2018. All of this time till he finally actually did it. And all the trials and tribulations and always second, third, whatever it was, until he finally nailed it. But it happened.
So my first emotion was a little bit angry, disappointed, because last year for Malta I lost grip again. So Gustav outpolled me again. So the Gustav is pretty good guy. It's very experienced. He trained at 11 years in powerlifting. I'm the youngest guy here, 26 years old. So I have big potential in this category. I know it. Strength is there, just need to fix a little bit. Make grip strength. So I will be doing very, very big things in the couple of years. The positive of that is I know it's my issues, so I need to back to work, not always talking, just working, and that's it. Yeah, need to work more.
Yeah, as we all.
And how about you, Pitre? And then I'll ask you, Carlos. Moving forward, you know, what did this do in terms of testing your resolves, helping you refocus, double down, or takeaways from this?
Oh, takeaways from this, I know what I need to do, priorities. I understand the lifter that I need to be. I need to prioritize also being a lifter, truly. I need to create better boundaries within who I want to be as a person, to where I could be, like, you know, very good, very giving, but if I want to be a champion, there are going to be way more sacrifices that I just simply need to make, point blank, period. And when I look at the champions across the week and I see who has that crown, who is the king, you look at the support that they had through their prep, you look at the support that they have around them, you look at all the sacrifices that they are making, you look at kind of like the person that they have to be and the boundaries they have to set in order to wear that crown. And I know for a fact that with the way that I prep and the way everything that I was doing, it's like I know that I'm not, one, having that support, and I need to create that. And then outside of that, I'm not setting those boundaries, and I need to create that as well. And then once I create that, I just feel as if the potential athlete that I'm supposed to have been this entire time is going to show out. And I have a promise that that athlete will show out. I'm more driven than ever before. Like, I've never had this type of fire lit inside of me, like, since I started powerlifting.
And how about you, Carlos?
My brother, the experience is marvelous. One of the main things I can say for this World Meet, Lithuania, 2024, is now that the top 5 athletes reach out to one another. Okay, I gotta give it to Hunter. Epic lifter, even a veteran in the game. Now he's a legend. As I mentioned to Pitre, is like Ronnie Coleman and Jay Cutler. For 5 years, you took a whooping, and then you nailed it. I gotta say it, simple. So, the passion, the perseverance, and the patience behind every single effort, every time you showed up. Yes, I understand what that anger, what Honland released is like. Damn, I gotta settle for second again. So I know how it is. Losing after losing after losing, the battle goes on. But guess what? You have the same passion, you have the same drive to go back to the drawing board, refresh, review, and analyze everything that have passed you, and then you gotta start all over again, building that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give it to Krastev too. As not just as a younger athlete than me, but you guys have much more experience on the world stage. You know what I'm saying? And to keep building, 'cause I know this for sure, and I even told him, I said, I may not be in the top 3. I know that for sure. But guess what? Emil doesn't miss podium. For the past 3 years, I've seen that. It's like, yo, I'm not counting myself out, but Emil, bro, kudos to you, buddy. Keep up the good work, stay focused, keep that same drive, buddy. We never know when we gotta hit it. likewise to myself. Pitre, my brother, likewise. And I will say this to many athletes. Again, 2024 Worlds may not be the best ever, may not be the greatest ever. But one thing I'll say is the only World Championship so far that the top 5 athletes I could have able to speak with, interact with, share certain thoughts, and even they get back to me. Kudos to Kaiko also. You understand? I reach out to him. Kai could say, my brother, you got this. Just stay focused. You go out there, do your best. Put on a show. Recently, Gavin put up something. I just leave the mediocrity out. Thank you very much. That is it. You understand me? However, one thing I will always say, if we could able to have more camaraderie and more sportsmanship within each other, at the end of the day, my brother, we the same individuals, you understand me? Just different aspects, but guess what? One goal. Give the guy his respect, because you don't know how far he's coming. You don't know his psychological distress. You don't know nothing of what he or she been through to reach so far. Everyone knows my story now. You understand? Maybe that's just part of it. But the sacrifice that every single athlete pours out there, I think you need to give that the respect. I mean, I'm not getting it 100. You understand? But for those who do, Pitre, Emil, yo, I prefer call you brothers more than enemies. Honestly speaking. You understand? So every time I go out there, whether it's a loss, whether my hamstring pull, whether I fail grip, consider it as a goal achieved, man. Because we may be one nutmeg, you know what I mean? Or one speck in the whole planet Earth. That not just creating heights, not just creating goals, not just setting boundaries or breaking records. It's just a 1% of many people. God, many of lifters out there may have the dream of becoming, oh, I just want to attend worlds. Attending worlds is one, but competing among the greatest among each other, that's a different scenario, man. Yeah. So again, Hunlund, congratulations. Sorry you're not here, my brother. Krastev, great athlete. But guess what, Pitre, we got to go back to the drawing board, buddy.
That's right.
That's the way to go.
It's sorry, right? Thus far, and every single world's is special. You were talking about the cast of characters that we have here. But even, I don't got to tell Pitre, back in the U.S., Kaiko will probably be back. Gavin, Juwan Harrison is crossing over and said he's going to be entering the 93s and he wants to join as well. It's a battlefield just to get onto Team USA. Nothing's given. So every single moment and you enjoying the sessions, going out at night afterwards and hanging out with everybody, taking it all in and, you know, getting a little more familiar with all your competitors. Yeah, you never know if it's this year or like my friend Kafui, who was here 4 out of 5, but you don't know if you're going to miss one in between or what can happen, right? So to your point, yeah, you soak up the moments and sometimes they're fleeting. Looking at this World Championships, I don't know how much all you fellas have taken in, but what do you think are the highlights so far? How about yourself first? Because I know you've been in the crowd often.
The highlights. I mean, I would have to say the Jurens. I'd have to say the Jurens dethroning Russ was like by far the craziest thing to witness in a stand like for powerlifting. Really, like even some of the sports games that I've gone to for like, you know, NBA, NFL and stuff like that. It's just like just being there in the moment and just seeing like a crowd truly erupt. And I mean, banging on the bleachers, stomping the feet, like everyone from different nations just cheering, screaming. It was by far the craziest, most ridiculous moment that I just don't think that, I mean, some people saw coming, like we did research, but for the most part, for it to actually happen was crazy to witness. And that was like the biggest highlight to me.
Did you see that coming?
I saw it as a high possibility, yeah. Like, I studied Jurens deadlift, so like, I mean, for me, I know how Russ shows up pretty much for competition, especially when it has to be standardized. And I knew that I just didn't see the 860 thing really being there. And with the way that Jurens deadlifts were going, I knew that if, kind of like what Jurens even said on his podcast, that if Russ missed a squat, then that was going to be a potential upset just because Jurin's deadlift was going crazy. And I didn't really see Russ's deadlift carrying over. Like, I mean, y'all highlight all the stuff he does in training and stuff like that, but honestly, it doesn't ever show up. I mean, it really doesn't. I don't know why we even track it. So for like, so when Jurin showed up and he did what he did, like that was amazing. Like for it to realistically like just actually happen, for him to execute.
Yeah.
go ahead.
To add to that, Mr. Lapidat, on executions, right? I don't know if everybody understands much theory, because every coach has different theories. Every person has different approach. Yes, it's powerlifting, but when you see an athlete, right? I could speak for myself and many others out there. When you see an athlete doing 327, 330, 335 for reps, okay? Projected calculations, you have roughly 15 to 20 kilos, the max pull. And Jurin was doing that in his garage. So when you put that into the trajectory rate ratio, I was like, this guy is coming big. Honestly speaking, I have that same theory applied to myself. So that's why a lot of lifters out there is like, yo, Carlos is coming big. Yeah, so with coaches too, they may not attend to old school theory, but I love old school theory. Just that technology now has evolved, you're able to give that better scientific look of it. But if you go back into the archives, which is a lot of things evolve, it's the same result you're getting. Just that if you don't put in the work, don't expect to reap, bro. Simple. If you don't put in the work, don't expect to reap. But once you're showing up and you exactly know what you're doing, just look out for an upset. And that's exactly what happened. With the crowd, it is immense. It is impeccable. Because you don't see nations for more than 10 countries cheering to, hey, we know Russell Laurie, one of the greatest. We know Kaiko. We know former 74, Mr.
Taylor Atwood.
Mr. Atwood. These guys are great lifters. But guess what? At some point now, somewhere along the way, you tend to get confident. Yes, you have the crowd. You have, let's say, the atmosphere. But always remember, the world does not evolve around you alone. You have one, I have one, everyone has one. So you always remember, there's always an underdog, there's always a person, there's always an individual putting in the same work that you put it in. Just don't get too confident. Or don't get, yes, I'm the king in the jungle. Why everyone respects the lion? Not because he's fearless. Because he do not give up. He's always there. From a young cub, he's always ready for battle. Everyone want a piece of the pie, but no one want to put in the work, buddy. So that is it. You keep putting in, you will reap. Jurin's my brother. You have a long road, but guess what? Keep it up.
Yeah, it was. I don't think I can think of a single moment ever in commentating where, like that final poll when Jurin's came out, and the crowd was stomping their feet and everybody's going crazy. Every world it gets bigger. I get it, but the 66ers I think was the better battle, so to speak, because three guys on the podium, the exact same body weight, or sorry, total split on body weight, was closer in that sense because you had three guys, all of them could win it, and guys were pulling and missing, so it was more than just three. It's like top five. I think that was probably the better battle, but the better single moment.
I was gonna say, there's no lore though. Like there was no story. Like it was the story was just like the good battle, kind of like ours. Like it was a good.
No,
battle.
there was
no. I mean,
Jonathan Garcia's story and Penna's story.
No, I'm talking about as the event. They had their own individual storylines for themselves, but as a, like for instance, if Jonathan Garcia would have won, then that's a great story for him. But that wouldn't impact the community. That would impact him. That'd be great to just say.
Yeah, for the moment of because Russell had not lost since 2018.
Yeah, well, because he had not lost, but also every single time that he comes out, like as far as like his presence internationally, he's not well received. So with him not being well received, this was a time. This is like Jurin winning.
Every single time he comes out, he's not well received.
Not out here. Not from what I hear and what I see. Not out here. So when Jurin's came out and Jurin's won that for Europeans. like Jurens was getting backed by Europeans because not only did you beat USA, but you beat Mr. USA. You beat everything that people see that is like stereotypical, like United States of America. Jurens went and beat that. And that storyline is why it's so huge. That impacted the community to where everyone's like, oh, I love powerlifting because Jurens took down Mr. USA. Like this was like their Rocky, but just reverse.
Yeah. So I guess like the essentially, yeah. I mean that's an interesting take. So the sweep talk, everything, and then with Russ coming in, having that high profile.
Well, think about it. Well, not to cut you off. Think about it. Even in the previews, it was just Russ and Jesus, right? Like as far as like
what previews?
Like for this sit down. Like the picture, it was Russ and Jesus at first. It wasn't even like Russ and Jurens or like how it is for like the 93s. How it's set up.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even set up to even be a potential battle, right? So it's just like every step of the way, I was like, Russell was supposed to come in here, wipe the floor, collect his championship. Oh, he's back to the IPF, Sheffield, World Games, like the whole run. And it's like there was no mention of there even being a battle.
Correct.
And then Jurens came in and said, psych. And now it's like, we're betting on if Etienne and Bob don't push the record tonight and then edge Russ out of Sheffield, at least the second round, which is crazy to even think that we're in this scenario. And that's why it's so huge. It's just Jurens is now king over Mr. USA.
Lap of that, my brother, sorry to say this, right? As I mentioned earlier, it doesn't revolve one way around, buddy, right? You always got to look at the other athlete, right? If the guy did not put in his work, he won't be able to call himself, well, he doesn't call himself. People nickname him that now, the king. So right now there is a meme.
Oh, God.
Literally, sorry to say this, right? USA is like lay down, and Jura is like Aquaman. And they literally evolved this year.
God.
Great Britain and Aquaman just, I say, Jesus, like if people only see this, it's gonna be ugly. Honestly, Lapada, if you see that, you'll be like,
I've seen tons of memes. I've seen tons of gifs,
if you
memes.
see this one,
Really?
Jordan's at top, right? Like he's holding a trident, right? And it's like one of the very old things, cause it's copy paste, well edited, right? And let's see, Jordan's is a god casting out whatever, right? I'm not pointing fingers, but it's exactly what's up. But they put Mr. Russell Ory on that position, and Jordan's at top. My brother, it's epic.
So Russell became the epitome of what they think an American is in terms of hype, in terms of flash, and they were like, okay, if they just single out, you beat him, you beat him.
Which I will say, like, it is good for the sport. Like, Russ being who he is, whereas, he may not be well received and it led to this moment. The fact that we got this moment is because of who he is. And he got so big. So it's like, it sucks that he ended up having the personality he has kind of lately, but overall, him creating this persona has been very good for the sport because now we have that lore. And now Jurens was able to have this moment. Europe was able to have this moment.
Yeah, it evolves. And the sport keep evolving all the time. So, on same now.
Yeah, let's...
Like
hold on, let Emil speak.
Carlos say a few minutes. If you're a king this year, someone worked very hard and give you your throne. So don't stop working. Work very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great upset for Russell with Jurens. I predicted Jurens for first because I know this guy. He's worked 7 or 8 years. It's very great experienced guy, and yeah. For another upset is 66. Yeah, it's great battle. Yeah, and yeah, that's my answer.
When I was talking to Penna, and he said, he's like, this got to be, I said that the 66ers was the best battle I had ever commentated on. I meant it. Right afterwards, like, I've never commented on a better battle. And including Hack versus Gibbs. And I always point to Hack versus Gibbs. the 66s was phenomenal. And the amount of guys who either Penna had the world championship, Kasimsan, who held the world record, or Jonathan Garcia, who held the unofficial world record, or even, Kyoto, and we had equip lifters in there who had done plenty in the equip side crossed over. It was a crazy stacked field, and the resumes were insane, and it actually lived up to a podium of the exact same total, only split on body weight, and so many guys lifting to take it at the very end.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. And then Penna told me, he's like, if Jurgens beats Russ, that'll, in terms of a moment, maybe not overall battle, because the 83s didn't have that lineup and that close across as deep as that was.
Yeah.
And it just came down to that very last moment. The way you guys are talking, though, holy smokes, this rematch is, because they have to rematch at some point. If not Sheffield, whether it's World Games, obviously.
Yeah.
Nah, that's gonna be a battle for World Games.
Yeah.
Or Sheffield. We'll see.
Yeah, but say, or all three. Sheffield,
Or all three.
Sheffield is let me put a little point there. Sheffield is great, right? However, we get in how I see it, right? It's a battle of the battle, but everyone's is in their own because it's a battle of the battle, pound for pound, right? You place, you break records. You're not going to I'm going to place above him or whatever, right? Because if it was like that, you won't be here.
Yeah.
Right? Kaiko or Aiden will be here, despite no matter what. Whether you make your knots or you don't make knots. So Sheffield is a platform by itself. But World Games and powerlifting World Championship, for example, like today, is where the battle literally ends. All right, let me say it straight or raw. Sheffield, you're going for the money. Here, you're coming for the title. So which one do you predict? Which one is better?
If they like better, it's a tough question. I don't, because you have head-to-heads in Sheffield. Like, for instance, we have like the battle of the 76s and the battle of 93s at Sheffield. I know what you mean, where it's structured differently, but they will be potentially, and I say them, but anybody who goes in the same weight class does have to face off against the other person as well.
Yes.
Right. So
100.
So you will have, even if they went in Sheffield, I understand, they'd be battling against everybody else in different weight classes. But if you're in the same weight class, side by side, it's, I got to get through you. So we will have that rematch. And it'll be in Britain.
Yeah.
In Germans, it will be insane. Like, if you think about, if you honestly think about how crazy it would be.
Imagine,
can you imagine?
Imagine him winning again in that arena.
Okay.
Literally, UK will have
A parade.
no, not just a parade, a national holiday.
A national holiday.
My brother, it's gonna be ugly. Trust me.
But let's look at it on the flip side. What do you think this does for Russ after what happened on the platform, the reception of the crowd rallying behind Germans, all the memes, the gifts? What do you think happens there?
Yeah, train harder.
That's the way to go. For me, as an experienced lifter, for example, I lost the world title just by 1.5 kilo. Here's what. I can only speak about me. Go back to the drawing board, make sure I put up my numbers, make sure I put in my work, sweat, what gotta sweat, bust my hands off or whatever. I know I'm coming back stronger. So vice versa. I know Jurgens is gonna put in his work, try and see if he can maintain that top spot, because everyone wants that top spot. Yes, I know for sure Russell gonna go back to the drawing board, make sure he gets it right, put up what he gotta put up, face the odds, and come back and reclaim. Once again, that's if he's capable. But trust me, upsets will continue to happen.
Yeah, I say. You have anything, Emil? No. Oh, I was gonna say, because like he's not weak or anything like that. Like, I mean, it's gonna be a battle, like no matter what. Like Jurgens is not like, oh, Jurgens come back, he's just gonna beat him again. Oh, no. And so, but the thing is, Jurgens is gonna keep working. He's gonna stay working. Jurgens is like, yeah, I won now, king, haha. But Jurgens is already back in the gym. Jurgens is already training. He's about to do the silent worker meet, and Jurgens is like continuously gonna keep growing. It seems like they have a formula that they're working out, and he's still growing. And Jurgens is already just well experienced just in life. You know, I think he's 36 right now, so he's very much able to kind of like navigate the next 4 years probably aren't going to be changing too much for him, right? And same thing with Russ. Like Russ go back to the drawing board. He's going to get, he's going to train. He's going to be able to bring a better package next time. It's just a matter of now this is a true battle. It doesn't matter if he goes back and trains and works hard. It's not like he's going to, this was what he needed to have that convincing total. Now total's just going to go crazy out of nowhere. It's like, no, like that was supposed to happen last year too. Like that was supposed to happen here at this Worlds. That was supposed to happen at Nats as well. And the thing is, at a certain point, you have to realize that other people are just getting stronger, and that you could work hard, you could train hard, you can do everything you're supposed to do, but when you hop on that platform, it's still who is the better man on the day. And he is in a position to where he just has to hope that he's the better man on the day, because there's another guy that's there ready to prove that he's the better to 83.
Do we have our new Hack versus Gibbs?
Yes.
Yeah, we wanna.
Or
We wanna again.
this is like the new
Yes,
rivalry.
yes,
Is this the hottest
yes.
rivalry in powerlifting?
Yes.
So far, yes.
Yes.
But don't worry, we coming in sharp with the 93s.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I'm
no,
excited
yeah.
to see.
Don't get it twisted.
No, hey, yo, I'm not looking past, but yeah, I think it's a freaking storyline, and the 66s as well. I want to see. I mean, how do you all have 707.5, the exact same total, and not have a rivalry that begs to be continued?
Now it will. That rivalry gonna be not just evolve, but I know Pana. He's not a guy that takes let's say no for an answer.
Right.
Yeah.
That guy goes all out 100, and the way how he trains, it's like, yo, I wanna just put a 0.5 kilo on this. That's how he trains. I'm not saying he max out every time, but the way how he trains, he's so determined.
Yeah.
He's hungry. It's like full. Like you will see Rocky Balboa versus the Russian Ivan Drago.
Yeah.
It's literally that. Rocky putting in, that's Pana right there. He's pumping it. And someone is not too confident, but putting in the work too. But Pana, he has blood in his eyes, buddy.
Yeah. And Pana's always there. Like, that's the one thing with the 6'6" that's very interesting to me, is that they're always strong. But if you notice, it's always Pana and Kyoto, like lately, and then everyone else is interchangeable. Like the people who are there has been a different person for the past however many years. The only person that's always there is Pana. And that's the thing about the 6'6" as far as like the rivalries, I guess I would say, because it's more like Pana and Kyoto, or at least what it seems like, against who else is next.
It might
Against
even
who's
just
the challenger.
It might even just be Pana
Really just
dating
Pana.
back to
Yeah, really just Pana.
because it was Gladkick who won back-to-back years. Pana unseated him.
Yeah.
Proceeded to be at every single world since,
Yeah.
winning 2 world titles,
Yep.
tying on total, losing on body weight here, like to your point, right up in the mix. Kasim Sand held the world record at the Asian Championship. Every time at the Worlds, something popped up, and he said it just never kind of went his way. Yeah, to your point, at the Worlds level, for years now, ever since we got out of the lockdowns, it has been Pena in every single conversation about winning that world title.
Yeah.
But
I hope Kasim Sen stays though, because his deadlift looked like he had so much more on him, and if you could put up that like true total that he has in like the rematch of the 66ers, that's gonna be
Epic.
That's gonna be amazing.
of course, on the women's side, Liabava, Carola Gara
Yeah. Oh.
need to
amazing.
see that run back again.
Yeah.
Now they're 2-2.
Yeah.
We need to. That, it feels like on any given day that could flip back and forth as well. Yeah. And when Natalie Richards returns, Jack up now, finally a world champion in the Open.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Epic
World champion
performance.
versus world champion. And
Epic performance.
And they're 1-1. They
wo-
also have a tiebreaker.
the women's side is getting spicy. The women's side is getting spicy.
It's
Like,
always spicy. Always.
I love seeing these rivalries emerge on the women's side. I love that men are even starting to just actually gravitate towards the women's side of powerlifting now and really keeping close tabs. Because you asked like 2 or 3 years ago, most guys wouldn't keep up. But now it's like if you're in powerlifting, you just are aware of everything going on, which is amazing to see.
Pitre, what's the major upset in the women's powerlifting right now?
Oh, that happened at this Worlds?
Yeah.
You go ahead. Yes, you first.
Gonna run into the 47s, 57s, or 52s. Everything won there.
Yeah.
Because Tiffany did her thing, Evie did her thing, 57s, Ja did her thing. 63s,
Meg.
Meg did her thing. That was noted. 69s. I mean, it really wasn't an upset.
The closest.
I mean, yeah, was it really an upset? Because I think Corolla and Leah was a battle. I don't think you could really say that was upset because they both had like a chance to win.
The only way you would term it an upset, because they're both reigning world champions, multiple time, like all-time
They're both
greats.
accoladed.
The only way you could, I mean, all of them, I don't know if any of them are upsets, to tell you the truth, but the only way you'd say that one is because Leah was the reigning 69 kilo world. She was the defending champion in that particular weight class. Corolla Garra was entering it and had the last time they clashed in that weight class, Leah beat her. So that's the only way you'd be like, hey, look, it looked like momentum-wise, in the 69s, Leah might be the one. But to your point,
Yeah, it just looked like even like
that was 2.5 kilos when she lost to her.
Yeah, I was saying like it was still neck and neck. So it was kind of like it was just a battle. I wouldn't even say like, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call that. I will say that with Carlina coming in as the world champion prior in that weight class, and then Agata, even though everything was hype on her, it was still just like Agata still hasn't done it yet. And this was Carlina's weight class as far as the 76s go.
Yeah.
So I would say if you're going to quantify one as an upset, it definitely would be the Carlina versus Agata, because we still didn't know what Carlina was going to bring. And even with Agata's total, if Carlina was on, it still could have been like a very good battle, and Carlina could have very well kept her world champion, be a two-time world champion. So Agata coming in and actually doing it, yeah, that was huge. But even then, the hype was already on her.
Yeah, it's tough. There wasn't a whole lot of. They were all very well established by the time they clashed.
Yeah, it was good battles, and then some were just like good totals that were hit. But with everyone hopefully being healthy next year, like the battles that are steaming up is gonna be good.
Yeah,
really good.
Trust me. On that now, we have coming up shortly. We have the 84 plus, and the 84 and the 83 plus. 84 plus.
Yeah.
Let me hear what you guys got to say about that.
Well, trust me, this young kid for USA, she's on point, man.
Yeah, she's
For
a
an
dog.
84 plus,
She's Alexis Jones,
wow,
a dog.
epic.
I mean,
Yeah.
between
So
her,
to just come
He's
in
young.
and not just
He's young too.
yeah, and Young.
yeah, so to just come in on the platform, make which is U.S. nationals, right? To make that top spot and dethroning one of the greatest females, Bonica Brown. Bro, you gotta really put on a show now, cause now is the time not just for you to shine. You gotta prove that, hey, I belong here.
Yeah, and
You
now
understand?
has a time to shine when the 84 plus women are at an all-time high. You have Brittany and Sonita.
Oh, boy.
Like breaking records, like back to back, and just kind of like just going crazy, having these amazing performances. And now Alexis Jones, who has been really hyped, come over in the USA for the past couple of years, has a chance. And if she wins, this would be her winning against the best 84 pluses have ever been.
Yep.
And a record is going to have to solidify the win, unless people mess up. People are off. Then you
true.
don't necessarily need a record to win. But if everyone's on, a record will need to be established to win. So you're going to have a new world champion, possibly, and a new world record, which would be crazy.
Yeah,
Like-
we see battle, big battle.
It's going to be a big battle.
It's gonna
Big
be
battle.
epic. Trust me.
There was a lot of hype for sure. Alexis Jones hitting as high as 721,
Yeah.
which is insane. However, got to be mentioned, the reigning world champion, Brittany Schlater, battle tested.
Yeah, battle tested.
Hit 710, and we know totals can come down, coming from USAPL to IPF to the other side of the world, where Brittany Schlater been to Sheffield and won the battle of the 84 pluses there, been to the World Championships and won the title there in a sensational battle. So there's something to be said for being battle tested and having done all that. But Alexis Jones has got the biggest total we've seen out of them, but it doesn't always transpire like that.
Yeah, no.
I'm not
it's
sure.
On
This
the
one's-
day, every single session, every single session. It doesn't matter if someone looks like they're going to be the one to win.
Yep.
You have to be strong on this day, not last week, not 2 days ago, not a month ago. You need to be strong on that day and in the moment. You have to make sure that you don't get a cramp. You have to make sure that you don't have like.
I like when you rub it in.
You know what I'm saying? I just say, like, you have to make sure. You have to make sure that you're good, right? Because if you are off in any way, you only have 9 times. And you only have 3 times at a particular event.
Yeah.
You have to be your greatest 9 times in a row. And that is something that not everyone can do. So everything, when it's that close, is for sure a battle.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, of course, Amanda Lawrence, who's racking up titles like crazy. Potentially a best lifter award again. If she does so, she'll be the first woman to win 3, which is phenomenal, especially in this day and age. It's only getting harder and harder and harder. And I mean, however, it seems like there's no end in sight for her.
Yeah, she keeps getting better. Her deadlift looks really good going into this prep.
However, I don't know if this is said publicly yet.
No, just keep it. Don't mention it on the.
What I'll say, my man of integrity. I'll just say this. There are 76s that I spoke to who might be entering the 84s in the future. And while she doesn't have competition or big names, and she's come on the podcast saying, I long for a battle. I long for some, everyone's got like, this world champion's moved up, like Leah and Corolla moved up and whatever. And everyone gets excited when they hear that.
Yep.
She's like, I long for that. Next year might be different with several. It's just the problem is she's got such a gap. They can't just, and the gap in body weight too, you're not just going to, boom, be 84 immediately. So it might take a minute. However, it'll help shed light on that weight class because they're going to bring eyeballs as well as.
And it'll help her.
Yeah, oh yeah. She'll answer the call because it's just like that motivation, right? That, oh my gosh, I can't take the foot. I can't be complacent.
One main athlete you got to look out, which is very young, which is Agatha Sitko. She is on a rampage right now.
Is she the queen?
Yeah, hold on.
What do you guys think? Is she the queen of powerlifting?
Yeah.
Yeah, she dominate 2 weight class.
Yeah.
At Sheffield, yes. Now, no one. She win.
So on the point that Mr. Lapodat mentioned there, for Amanda Lawrence, I always say this to any athlete: be careful what you wish for, because what you set out, okay, is exactly what you're gonna get. You want a competition. I hope when it comes to you, you don't run, but you gotta look out for Agatha. Agatha is climbing. She's not coming down back. I'm telling you that. If she do, she gonna come down back for Sheffield. But other than that, she's gonna keep climbing. And if she ends up in 84, it's gonna be a battle of the battle because she's getting strong. She's still young. She's way young, and she's broke. What we could say, putting up that stats that literally no one gonna not just brush it, but it's gonna be a competitive one to just reach in the top 3.
I will say this. I'll hold on the Agatha being queen thing though. I think Amanda needs her flowers a little bit more than that.
No, she already has it.
Hold on, no, because she's about like if she does win this one, that would be a 5-time world champion when she entered the sport in a rivalry with Danny Mello.
Yeah.
And being able to conquer the rivalry and then be able to go on a rampage and then still improve the total and then still extend the records on the deadlift, extend the records on the world record total. Like as she keeps competing, that's huge. That's queen. That's queen quality right there.
Because to your point, she's kind of being hurt by her own success because she's so far ahead.
But she could be complacent, and she's not.
You're right.
She's improving, even though she's only by herself. Right. We've seen others be complacent, and she's someone to where I don't have anyone in my weight class. They say there's no challenge. I don't care. I'm trying to get that best lifter. You know what I need to do to get that best lifter? I need to be way stronger.
Keep
and
improving.
She just keeps improving and improving. So I would say Amanda's queen right now. Agatha's on her way. Mm-hmm. But Amanda's queen right now.
It's a vision, just different aspects.
I would say it's between those two, and I can be talked into either. To tell you the truth, it's very difficult. I mean, let's see what the heck Amanda does if she wins best lifter, as well as like she's a heavy favorite to win her weight class. Yeah, it's very her reign of dominance is insane.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
and reign of dominance is on the USA to a queen.
And. Right, but imagine Agatha moving up to be like, let's really settle who's queen.
That'd be crazy. Mm-hmm. Storyline building.
It is storyline building. And how about Jesus Oliveras? Actually, before we conclude this, we can't leave without talking about the big boys.
Wait, Jesus needs to. I mean, again, it's one of those things to where like I feel as if Jesus has a 8 for 9 day. It looks like that would be pretty hard to beat, but he still has to show up because if he goes 7 for 9, I hear that there's, some people in the weight class that have been improving. So it's another thing to where no one's really truly safe. And I am excited to see what Jesus does. and I'm excited to see the super heavyweight battle because I want to see the super heavyweights also improve. The 120 plus, sorry. I want to see them also improve because we need more rivalry. We need rivalries in every weight class because that's what makes the sport huge. That's what makes the community grow. Fans being invested, like people happy that you lost, people happy that you won, people cheering for you, like, oh, like I'm an Emil fan. Like some of your people message me saying like, say like, it's like, well, at least you didn't beat Emil. You did a good job because you didn't beat Emil, but you still did good. So like, but you need that though. You need that in sport. Fandoms, like. Yeah. We have that now, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and to point out to that too, it's not just creating a rivalry or so what. They have some athletes, right? I'm not gonna call names, right? In which we already know what's up. So, if you create a battle, you set out the stakes, you lost. Give the other athlete what he needs or what he deserves. You came in, yes, I could say I fell short. Sorry, my hamstring pull up. All right, but guess what? I'm not over it. I'm right there. He can slide. Emil can fall off. Hunlin can slide too. Everyone knows, yo, Carlos is right there. He's just a needle away.
Yeah.
I gotta keep improving. Everyone knows Carlos. Nah, his bench is just whack. Yo, I'm still working. I'm still building. And likewise, every single lifter out there is building, is making that stuff. So once you create that path, and you're willing to go through the pains, the agony, the tears, you will make it, brother. To everyone. With Jesus now, I'm not saying he's confident, oh, I'm the king of the jungle, right? Everyone want that piece. They have this youngster from, I forget his name.
Timur from Georgia.
Yeah, the guy from Georgia.
There you go. Thank you.
He's young too. Jesus is young too. The question comes down to this. Who's hungrier?
These are super heavies, my friend. They're both hungry.
Trust me, Jesus is already, yes, this is mine. But the guy who's coming from Georgia, my brother, he has blood in his eyes. I'm not saying anything outstanding, but I'm going to say this. We might have, okay, a new endurance.
Oh, shit!
I will say,
all right.
Jesus has blood in his eyes too. He's not happy with that.
No, he's the king of the jungle. I gave him his preps.
He's not happy with that Sheffield performance.
Yeah.
I like how you're using the term blood in his eyes now, too.
Yeah, I know.
No, he already seen where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
but I'm telling you,
we come from the same
might, Mr. Laparat, I'll tell you, we might have another upset, buddy.
So looking at how Timur's pacing, it looks as though he's pacing towards 1,100, but I'm not sure if he's going to hit it at this Worlds. I think look at his age, and he's about 4 years younger than Jesus. And the numbers he's hitting at 22, I 100% by the time he's 23, 24, and Jesus is also trending upwards, obviously, but as you get up to the top, you're bound to the training will slow, where I think this young man's his pace will be faster. They'll get to a point. I'm just not sure it's this Worlds yet, but I welcome the talk because it's better for us in terms of viewing.
Everyone in anything you do, you reaches a climax. After a climax, there is a resolution. You understand? Not you're gonna start falling off the way, but it is very hard to just keep maintaining and just putting your body through that same performance, that same aches and pains. Trust me, you yourself like, it's about time. You're a big guy. We all big dudes. You think every living day you're gonna, okay, I got 700, I got 800, and 900? No, we're gonna start stepping out. That's why it is said, it's not just scientifically, but also theoretically, that when an athlete reaches, for example, 31, 32 to 35, his level of endurance, stamina, stability, everything changes. Your psychological distress not just increases, but goes to a different level. Like, can I do it or can I not do it? You gotta know how to tighten that nut, tighten that bolt, or let's change the hydraulics.
Yeah, look at Father Time's undefeated. However, that's what also makes the Duran story so dramatic and inspirational to everyone. He's a father, has a full-time job, a very stressful full-time job, 36 years old, And the amount of world, like, he was in 2018. He was around for Russell Orhe versus Gibbs, the entire rivalry. He was there for all of it. He was there before, he was there during that. All the years leading into this, he was at all these worlds. He was at last year's World Championships. Remember his post where he's like, I don't know what the heck happened. Training went amazing, and then I don't know what happened on that day. And for people, when I interviewed him, I was like, for anyone who's, people have the ups, downs, and want to give up, lose hope, and like, if it would have happened, it would have happened by now. How often are you chasing something, and people who want to be naysayers will be like, my friend, if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. No? By 36, and this is where a guy like Jurgens reminds you, it ain't over if you're still going to put the work in and have self-belief. And you keep showing up, and sometimes the door of opportunity swings, and this is your moment.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
and he's, for anybody who's showing up at all these different world championships, and you see people coming off the platform, and they didn't have the showing that they wanted, it ain't over. As long as you're willing to put it in, you know, and I'm not sure yet in terms of the data if by weight class. I know in other sports, like I'm an MMA boxing fan, there's the lighter weight classes don't have the length age-wise as the heavier weight classes. I think in powerlifting it might be a stitch reverse because our heavyweights are so large that in MMA you have a 40-year-old who can win a title, but in our sport, a 40-year-old man who's 400 pounds, it just affects you differently.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the weight classes age, if they all age the same. Other sports I'm more familiar, but we're starting to see. So anyways, the 83s looks like you can last quite a hot minute.
Yeah.
93s, I wouldn't be surprised as well. 120s, we got Tony Cliff, who's the reigning world champion, 40 years old.
Yeah.
Dennis Cornelius coming back. So I don't know. I'm not sure what as a strength sport, we don't need reflexes. We don't need endurance. We don't need hand-eye coordination. Just unadulterated strength.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. So I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the Timur situation. Even if Timur can't press Jesus now, interested in seeing how he progresses, and it'll be a sign of things to come because his trajectory is up in a very fast uptick.
Yeah. Powerful there. He's hitting numbers on point, and the way how he's hitting it according to the trajectory ratio, it's gonna be impeccable. So I'm not saying because he's hitting numbers, he's gonna be right there. Jesus is already there. Just that Jesus, as how I tell people all the time, it's not buying a car, it's not getting a house, it's maintaining it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty part about it. Yes, Jesus is there and he wanna maintain his stats. But always remember, the guy who's coming for you, he's hungry just as you when you got there.
My friend, you might be the king of metaphors.
No, it is. It is, but it's facts. If you buy the latest luxurious car and you don't upkeep it,
Right. It's going to catch up to you quick.
okay, then you got to go in your pocket and spend more money just to maintain it. Because, God, you did not take the time to condition it and maintain it how it's supposed to be kept at all times, but you just want to drive, park it, you're not servicing it on time, you're not doing certain things on time, you're not putting in gas how it's supposed to put, you're not changing the oil, so how you expect to run?
I think one of the coolest things though about like this Worlds is that just to end off on the 120 plus conversation is that you have to show up. You have to show up to watch it. Like there has not been a single session to where you be like, oh, I'm not going to turn that on because we know who's going to win. I mean, okay, maybe Evie. But other than that, it's like, we're not even going to tune in because we already know who's going to win. No, like, you need to watch squat. You need to see how that goes. You need to watch bench. You need to see how that goes. You need to watch deadlift. See how that goes. Because you do not know who's going to win until that final pool.
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
That final pool is selected and loaded until they lock it out. And that's been really exciting for this Worlds. Like, there's barely anyone winning with just their opener or second attempt pool.
True.
No one on the men's side is winning by that, which is amazing.
Evie and Jad, but to your point,
As I said,
some bad cramps, some bad weight cuts, some bad whatever. Like, I don't got to tell you, two gentlemen, you both experienced it. Things happen. Yeah. We're walking blood bags, and sometimes it's your day that something's going to happen, and you show up, and you're like, I am far more vulnerable than the rest of the world knows, and there could be an upset.
Yeah, major upset. For example, I had one or two people within 93. Damn, Carlos set off powerful. He's going for it. Boop, arm straight.
Right.
It's not your day. It's not your day. Sorry.
Yeah, if that happens to either Evie or Jad, your hamstring goes. Guess what? Actually, that happened to Jad at the Junior Worlds. Yeah, she got injured. She was the heavy favorite and got injured, and it is what it is.
It
right?
is what it is.
Yeah. Well, listen, gentlemen. First off, if you ever get your slice of the pie, my friend, and that podcast is gonna be freaking amazing when you have your Journs moment. Can you freaking imagine?
My brother.
Oh,
If
dude, you promised me we're coming on immediately.
No, not immediately.
You're gonna need a
I'll take
5-hour
my
time
time.
slot.
That's
Yeah,
what,
a day, but
That's one thing with me. I'm not, let's say, that social media hype. I respect everyone who follows me. I gotta give them the preps, cause as soon as I reach out from the war record, Terrell was like, "Yo, look at your feeds right now. It's going crazy." I haven't gotten on my phone 100% yet since I've been here, and I've moved from, let's say, 5,478 followers, and I'm right now at 6,000. He not too long told me I'm at 6,000 plus, and it's climbing rapidly. However, I gotta respect those people, not just who believes in me, right? Who come out, hey, Carlos is the next guy. Yes, I'm the next guy. But at the end of the day, now, I'm not gonna get super hyped and say, oh yes, Lapadar gonna invite me, Emil gonna invite me, or Pitre gonna invite anyone. I gotta keep going and gotta keep pursuing. You know what I'm saying? So when I get there, I gotta remember the times I had downfalls, cause everybody gonna see the shining armor in front, but no one gonna see the broken glasses behind. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, as you progress now, just like how you said earlier, everyone gonna see you gradually, right? And when you get up there, it's either you change or they change you. You gotta know exactly what you're looking for. So I appreciate that you said out to me at early, Emil, sorry, but I have to say this. It's gonna be a battle in the near years, you and I, buddy. Straight, and I'm looking forward for it. My bench may not be in 200 kilos, but when it get there, my brother 93 is in trouble.
well, this is why these podcasts and you guys coming on your journey, like you win the world title, let's say next year, whatever, 3 years from now, whatever. All of this is already time stamped, and they'll have seen it. They'll have seen your emergence when we did the podcast leading into Sheffield, this storyline, everything. So by the time that happens, everyone will, you have an opportunity now. Yesteryear, we didn't have this. This is all being documented.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So when they all know who you are and your
That's
story.
what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
With my very first podcast with Lapadat, I told him, because he knew me from since Orlando with Chance.
Yeah.
And Jonathan,
Geico.
no, not Kaiko, Carriazo.
Oh, Carriazo.
Walter Carriazo.
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
yeah, Walter Carriazo.
yeah,
Yeah, the
sorry.
Canadian.
Canada.
Yeah.
Canada.
I can remember Walter Carriazo blew away and left myself and Chance in the dust with the deadlift and bench press. I said, damn. Well, he was a veteran. He still is.
Yeah.
After 7 years, now I see back Walter Carriazo on a wall stage.
That was pretty cool.
You understand? And Walter was like, yo, man, I can remember that. I can say previously I had defeated Chance.
That's true.
Yes. He took the squat NPF. I took the Pan Am. 280 kilo, he took 283. Right? Because I cannot claim NPF record, right? On the deadlift, I'm opening 300 kilo. Chance opening 285. I was like, no, I'm going to smoke this boy. First one. And I'm claiming 2 records. The FESUPO and the Commonwealth. He's claiming North American. I was like, okay. Second attempt for me. 317.5. Now he's coming with 300. I was like, okay, smell dust again. Clock in. Claim back the same record again. Now he's planning to break the Pan Am record what I just said. I said, okay. The first time I literally go in the tank, 330 kilos, my first ever. It's like, damn, you say, So I know that battle. So when I see back Chance about 4 or 5 years after at Worlds, I was like, whoa, your deadlift is quite impressive now, buddy. I believe you. I know for sure. He took that person. He's like, no, there's no one else beating me at deadlift. Now, he has a deadlift that which all of us are chasing. I know for sure I'm going to write my name on that again. And I'm saying this is straight on the live podcast. Mr. Lapadal, watch out. Squat and deadlift soon, total. Not just Carlos Peterson Griffith. I want you to write it down, the showstopper.
Nice.
So
love it.
not just
I
that,
love it, man.
not just that other athletes you will see them plaster. I know what the battles is, but that's what I'm telling you. Emil, I gave him a respect, not just showing up. He's a guy that if he comes, He gonna nail it. 1, 2, or 3. There's one thing I know for sure. With his impressiveness for the past 3-4 years, damn, bro. I don't know how you do it, but you are exactly there, and you do the same as me. You don't just look at your opponents. You know exactly, hey, he's not gonna fail. He's strong here, and I use my strength to keep pushing. My bench gonna come, right? My bench gonna come. But I'm not saying that I'm gonna put it on pause. Emil gonna fly past me or Pitre gonna run past me. No, I'm right there. Whatsoever mistakes happen now, we able to correct it. Not just for myself, but for everyone. Grip strength, holds, static holds, you name it. Whatsoever training you go through, exactly what we able to put out on the next World Championship.
Between all of you, if in 10 years' time you told me this gets volleyed around and each of you holds a title at one point in time, I wouldn't be surprised. All you guys are so close, and including Gustav, who's not going anywhere. I asked him, he said, I'm staying at 93.
Yeah.
So it's going to, and there's, Pitre, you know, the America, well, all you guys probably know, America has a bunch of other shooters as well that are all vying for their spot. And within the next 10 years, who knows? All you guys might have had it. It's just like they have those sports reunions 10 years later, and you have 5 guys up here, and they all were rivals, and they all held the title at one point. You know what I mean? And it's, let's go back and remember this year, this happened to you, and we start going around the table. I wouldn't be shocked at all.
For example, even as you mentioned earlier, one of the greatest rivalries, Hack and Gribbs. Up to now, even though they are not on the stage with us, right, or gracing on the World Championships anymore, the name is still written in the books.
Yeah.
It's the greatest rivalry, whatever. So, in the upcoming, now we have Jurins and Rohi. All of a sudden, it's a major upset. And so far, it's going to keep evolving. It's sad we don't have Kaiko, which is a major upset.
Yeah.
Now we have Hunland, respect to the king again. But guess what? I know Emil going to come stronger. Pitre, sorry to say, I don't know if you will be there, because you know USA.
Who do you think out of USA?
Well, I'm not calling names, bro. You guys got to sort it out.
that's fair. That's a nice way. You guys sort it out.
Hold on.
No, next time when I see you, I'm just gonna shake your hand and be like,
Okay then. No, but guess what? The battle continues.
That's right.
Okay? I know for sure I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere. On that now, the other guys who's coming in, 93s, my brother, just prepare for the heat, because it's not a walk in the park.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Well, listen, fellas, this has been a banger of a podcast, first off. Holy smokes. I did not expect us to go in all these different freaking places. You guys delivered the sound bites, and we touched up on pretty much, we almost had a freaking recap show.
yeah.
No,
You know what I mean?
Here's what. I'm going to say this straight, right? It's not like you're dealing with lifters who doesn't know the game. We know exactly what's up. Whether female powerlifting or within our own open weight class. We know exactly what is there to come. But if we to focus on just one area, we're not going to grow. We're able to understand other athletes' weakness. We're able to understand what is the trajectory rate in every single aspect. And able to just point out, oh, what if this, what if that? And there's what we're able to evolve from sports. For example, we already know NFL. We already know b-ball, basketball. We know exactly what our projections are. Powerlifting, it's evolving and evolving and evolving. We may not see you, let's say, within the next 10 years. Let's say you retire from commentary. But you know will be a guide to those who want to come and take that seat and say, this is what you need to look at. This is what you say. For example, last night we had a simple conversation with a young commentator. I was like, here's what. Don't look at the top 5. Look at the top 10 or the top 15, because you may not be in the top 15. For example, like myself, I was in B class, Force Wars. I come, clipped 6. I was way behind. Everyone is like, Carlos, he's just another lifter. All of a sudden, I ranked 6th. And here I am. Sorry to say, according to people, get a wild card for Sheffield's. Put on a marvelous performance. Sorry, my hamstring got locked up here. But guess what? I'm still going. I'm still putting up that same numbers. It's not just you putting up numbers. Your attitude, your determination, and your passion, it's what's going to drive you the extra mile.
Well said. And gentlemen, with that, I'd like to thank you for coming on the podcast. I know it's I appreciate each and every time you guys give me your time like this, whether we're doing it back home via Zoom or we're doing it in person. You guys got a lot of things you could be doing, and we also have the battle of the freaking 120s. So, and I know it's happening right now, so I'm gonna let you guys go.
Yeah.
It's one of your